My personal definition of blended learning is a model of education which intentionally integrates technology with face-to-face teaching. I think it's really important to note that it's intentional so that it works towards enhancing the learning and also connects with the concepts taught face-to-face. Especially nowadays when there's so much available to us on the computer, I feel like it's very easy just to place students in front of a computer, but we need to make sure what we're doing is effective for our students. I do speak from experience. In years prior, I only had students on the computer once a week, and the concepts weren't necessarily aligned directly with the curriculum. The role of technology took a shift this year in my classroom as I learned more about blended learning and also as more resources were provided. So this year, the second grade teachers at my school received Chromebooks for our classrooms. So I have 6 to 7 Chromebooks that I use during reading and during math. And we use the class rotation model of blended learning. So the students are rotating every 20 minutes to a different activity, which includes small group instruction with me, computer time, a collaborative center activity, and then independent work time. This new model of technology integration really allows for differentiation and also allows for me to provide feedback to my students. So this year I'm using a program called Front Row. The really great thing about Front Row is that it already aligns with the measurement topics that I'm teaching in the curriculum. The students also take a pre-assessment, so it is differentiated to meet their needs, and then I can consistently check in and provide them feedback. After reviewing the module on blended learning this week, I was really able to deepen my understanding of blended learning, and I was also able to do some reflection on my own teaching to think about what's working, what's effective, and then what are some improvements that I can make. Not only in my classroom, but what are some improvements that might need to be made institutionally to impact the structure of our education system. So the first thing I thought about was what's effective. So the YouTube video, What is Blended Learning, posted by Raise Your Hand Texas, states that blended learning allows the students to control the pace and time. The Front Row that I'm using this year definitely allows my students to do this. And it also allows for new ways for them to meet their needs. So I have an English language learner in my classroom who is really struggling with a math concept. And I tried many different things in small group. And after 20 minutes of using the Front Row program, she was able to grasp the concept quickly. So in combination with what I taught her and the different level of engagement, she was able to gain a new sense of confidence and be successful. When I was thinking about improvements, I thought of the RSA video posted on YouTube. And Robinson poses a question about why students are grouped by age. And this really got me thinking, because it's unrealistic to assume that students are going to perform the same just because they're the same age. There's so many factors that influence education and how we learn. And also, rather than spending quality amounts of time with my students, I often feel rushed with a small time frame to meet their needs. And each group I teach is so vastly different. This also ties in with Garbick's article, Teaching Using a Blended Approach, What Does Literature Tell Us? In the article, he talks about how teacher beliefs are related to blended learning. The issues surrounded by the changing role of the teacher impacts how our system is going to change over time. I think as blended learning becomes more prevalent in our schools, that educators are going to be more comfortable with the shift from direct teaching to a facilitator and their change in that role. Specifically, as I become more comfortable with blended learning, my hope is to accept and embrace this new role and to be able to change to ultimately support the success of my students.